Alrighty, cool. We're making into our first session of the day now, which is the state of the internet. As described before, the internet changes all the time. So just to think that, oh, I know this internet marketing thing, I don't need to keep up to date, is a false economy. You really, really need to keep up to date. You either need to be actively studying it yourself or plug into an environment where someone is feeding you that information. And I heard something recently about this whole digital marketing space where people are talking about, oh, I'll just outsource it. But I think the reality is where the whole world is going in this information age, it's too important an area to just outsource and pass on to someone else. So yeah, let's get into the state of the internet. The Google CEO Eric Schmidt, he recently declared it. He's saying we're now the new digital age or the internet age. So if you think about it back through history, like going Stone Age is obviously going way, way back, but machine age, that kind of thing, where a lot of people were working in factories and that. Whereas now most people in Western world are using computing as a part of their day. So we're really very much in what is called the digital age now. And there's three powerful technologies that are converging, and this is changing the way that we market online. It's changing things, how we approach markets. It's changing things such as price points that you go to with markets, that kind of stuff. So the first one is information is now free and unlimited. So with things like YouTube, with things like Facebook, there's just, even Google search, it's just amazing the amount of stuff that's available to you. Okay, number two, mobile devices and networks. So we live in an always connected world. Okay, so people have got access to research things while they're on the bus. They've got access to do work just from their tablet, which is in their bag, and that kind of stuff. So there's connectivity all the time, type connectivity. And cloud computing is providing unlimited storage and processing power. So what this means is the world is moving more towards software as a service. So if you take an example like Adobe, does anyone know like their Photoshop suite? It used to be $895 or something like that. I don't quote me on the exact prices, but that was to buy it, and then you had to buy updates. Now it's like $45 a month, and you get the whole suite of things. So that sort of shows where the world's going. And Adobe's a big, really, really smart company. So that's what's going on with these, these three real trends that are the technology trends that are converging. We're going to start off with some cool stuff, and then we're going to get into some really actionable stuff that you can use. So this is a dolphin boat, and you can buy these for 65 grand on that'swhyimbroke.com. So it's a true story. If you haven't seen it, check out that. It's my favorite e-commerce store, that'swhyimbroke.com. There's all things like a remote that's like a magician's wand and 3-player chess and all that kind of stuff. So for blokes, it's if you've got spare cash, it's a good idea. For women, it's a great spot to get your hubby a gift. He'll love it. Yeah. Like if Jules. So Jules is saying they've even got remote control things to float you over to the bar and the pool. But yeah, so that's it. Like no bloke's going to complain about getting a dolphin boat for Christmas. Okay, so Project Morpheus for PS4. So this is just around the corner. So this is virtual reality. So plug in a headset in instead of the screen being there, being right here. I did this at IBM about 5 or 6 years ago. But back then it was really, and you had to sort of walk into a machine and do the virtual reality that way. And it was very pixelated, like big squares. But now this is just like an amazing experience. I'll show you what this looks like so you can consume it. We got audio, Dan? I'm so getting that when that comes out. Like, I've already cleared it with the boss. It's a business expense, that one. We're going to test out new technology. So that's... yeah, we were talking about that for our group, yeah, like at lunchtimes where they can plug into the virtual reality and die, fish, die, that kind of stuff with some choice, colourful language. So this is another really cool thing that's happening. Google working on the driverless cars, and you might think, why would they worry about that? Well, this is actually an early prototype with one of their own cars, but now that unit at the top that uses radar, etc., it can you can attach it to a normal car. It costs about 150 grand at the moment to set out a car as driverless. But this is, if you think about it, for example, in mining, where they're paying, so for example, people 150 grand a year or whatever to drive a mining truck, if they could put one of those on there, that kind of stuff. So they're really, really smart in their future thinking of where things are going. And also, they're talking about providing public services where it's using like Google driverless cars type things, and then they serve you up advertising while you're in there. So they're thinking about everything. This is really what's going on as far as internet user growth. So currently, only 40% of the world's population has the internet, which is amazing, isn't it? If you look around, you think, oh wow, everyone's got it, but in reality, not everyone does, because we're in one of the luckiest countries, in the world. So this is what Google's doing about it. They're doing this thing called Project Loon, where they've got really like hardcore, heavy-duty balloons, and they're creating like a ring of balloons that are effectively going to float around the planet, and will serve up internet connections. And so that's how you'll have, for example, your Maasai warrior, and all of a sudden he's on YouTube and watching Seinfeld and stuff. So everyone should get access to Seinfeld, I think. So that's something else that's really has the potential to change the world, and they're talking about up to 5 billion more people coming online over the next, say, 3 to 5, 6 years, that kind of thing, which is incredible amount of connectivity. And this one's Amazon Prime Air. Jules thought it was a flying barbecue when she first saw it, which I thought was pretty cool if it delivered an esky, with cans in it type thing. But this is Amazon Prime Air. So this is talking about using drone technology to deliver parcels. And you might think, wow, that seems a bit far-fetched, but there's 4 states in the US now that have the laws passed to allow drones to fly around, and they're lobbying to get it in more and more. But again, rather than talk about it, I'll just show you how it works. It's a different type of postie, isn't it, really, when you think about it? I know I'm a geek, but you got to admit that is cool. So the world is basically becoming the Jetsons. With this show was so future thinking. It had flat screen TVs and conveyor belts that delivered foods, and flying things that delivered parcels and all that kind of stuff. And now that's really becoming a reality, moving into 2015. Okay, so here's something else really cool, which is now available but not really public mainstream yet, which is Google Glass. So instead of having, it's basically like a computer screen, but just on the side of your glasses, you can now get it so that it can attach to your glasses. So you might think, why would I want this? But basically it's so you can watch video wherever you want, or you can call up a map, or you use it for navigation, Google searches, all that kind of stuff. But again, rather than talk about it, I'll give you the 1-minute version of it.
Okay, Glass, record a video.
This is it. We're on in 2 minutes.
Okay, Glass, hang out with the Flying Club.
Google photos of tiger heads. You ready? You ready?
Right there. Okay, Glass, take a picture.
That is awesome.
Okay, Glass, record a video!
After this bridge, first exit.
That map feature would definitely be handy at times as far as, but it seems futuristic, but you know, that is the now, so very cool. Apple Watch is about to come out, so it's like an iPhone, but on your watch, so it can still do everything like sending texts, making calls, browsing the web, that kind of thing. Obviously, some things are not really going to be that well suited, but you'll see after this next thing that I'm going to show you where it's going. So Apple, now brought out Apple Pay. This is similar to Google Wallet, but I think Apple will do a much better job as far as making it wide stream. So effectively, like your credit card is going to get replaced over time with your phone, because everyone I think already people do PayWave, where you just stick your credit card in front of it, and now it'll be stick your smartphone in front of it, and maybe your smartphone and like your thumbprint, that kind of thing, to confirm that it's you, so that someone hasn't just nicked your phone. And then this Apple Watch also works the same way, so you can just pay for anything just with your watch. So pretty cool. That's where things are going in that regards. So, and then last thing that I want to show you in this sort of in this sort of space is Bitcoin, which is the world's first decentralized currency. So it's a virtual currency that doesn't really go through banks and trading floors as such, and no one government really has control over it. I think no one really has control over it, which is pretty interesting. I'll show you the 1-minute version of that, and then we'll get stuck into a whole bunch of stuff you can use in your business.
What is Bitcoin? Bitcoin is the first decentralized digital currency. Bitcoins are digital coins you can send through the internet. Compared to other alternatives, Bitcoins have a number of advantages. Bitcoins are transferred directly from person to person via the net, without going through a bank or clearinghouse. This means that the fees are much lower, you can use them in every country, your account cannot be frozen, and there are no prerequisites or arbitrary limits. Let's look at how it works. Bitcoins are generated all over the internet by anybody running a free application called a Bitcoin miner. Mining requires a certain amount of work for each block of coins. This amount is automatically adjusted by the network such that Bitcoins are always created at a predictable and limited rate. Your Bitcoins are stored in your digital wallet, which might look familiar if you use online banking. When you transfer Bitcoins, an electronic signature is added. After a few minutes, the transaction is verified by a miner and permanently and anonymously stored in the network. The Bitcoin software is completely open source, and anybody can review the code. Bitcoin is changing finance the same way the web changed publishing. When everyone has access to a global market, great ideas flourish. Let's look at some examples of how Bitcoins are already used today. You can purchase video games, gifts, books, servers, and alpaca socks. Several currency exchanges exist where you can trade your Bitcoins for dollars, euros, and more. Bitcoins are a great way for small businesses and freelancers to get noticed. It doesn't cost anything to start accepting them, there are no chargebacks or fees, and you'll get additional business from the Bitcoin.
Yeah, sorry, that video ends abruptly. One of the things you can do, like for example, if you've got an e-commerce store, is accept Bitcoin on your e-commerce store, and then that's a newsworthy thing that you can then get media about and that kind of stuff. The only thing that wasn't really mentioned on that video, I don't know the exact specifics, but the world's biggest sort of like trading floor for Bitcoin, earlier on in 2014, they shut it down and ran off with the money pretty much. So that wasn't really a good, I don't know what the number was. I heard something like $300 million or something gone. But yeah, so it's early days, but I think, yeah, watch that space.